Well, here's some numbers to start with. As you will recall, on Friday, 3 million power customers in the state. On Friday, we were at outages 1,300,000. On Saturday, it had gone down to 1,200,000. On Sunday, it was 904,209. That's on Sunday. On Monday, it was 745,593. 745,593. And today, a little while ago, it was 629,979. Again, 629,979. And by now, I presume with all the people that we have out there working, it's probably a lot less than that now. But we're making progress. Again, we have the whole team on the field, and it's growing every day. I want to take a moment and sadly announce that we have, as of now, 36 confirmed deaths as a result of the storm. It's going up, and there'll likely be more. We hope not. To compare with Hugo in 1988, there were 35 deaths. That, of course, hit the coast real hard. Comparison, North Carolina, I believe there they have 600 people still missing and over 100 known deaths from the storm. So this has really hit our region hard. The declaration, our state has enjoyed success in getting our declarations accepted by the federal government, and we've asked for an expedited declaration this time. And as you know, it was approved, and that is based on information that we receive from the counties and can send in to get approved. And as you know, they're for public assistance. This is not the private assistance that the citizens do for themselves directly with FEMA in those counties that have been so designated by FEMA, but the public assistance that goes to the public institutions, towns, cities, state government structures. And we originally received, as you know, the okay for these counties: Aiken, Anderson, Bamberg, Barnwell, Cherokee, Greenville, Greenwood, Newberry, Oconee, Pickens, Saluda, and Spartanburg. So we were successful in receiving that on an emergency expedited basis, and that was very, very good. But we are now working to receive the information. We're awaiting information from other counties as well, and we anticipate that FEMA will be able to include a number of them soon. We hope, we anticipate. We're receiving information and sending it in, and those are as follows: Allendale, Abbeville, Edgefield, Lawrence, McCormick, Richland, and Union. I'll repeat that: Allendale, Abbeville, Edgefield, Lawrence, McCormick, Richland, and Union. And we believe we will have success once we have enough information received to where we can send that in, but we're anticipating success. We again have the entire team on the line now. The numbers are enormous for those that are participating in the effort. The National Guard now has 973 soldiers out on duty. We have 18 chainsaw teams out there. We have more coming from Florida and from Michigan and Virginia. They're arriving, and we're building. And so things are getting better, but we're not out of the woods yet. There's still a lot of power lines down, and as you know, in this storm has knocked down trees, which knocked down power lines, which caused everything that runs on electricity to stop. And we still have this choke point. Although we're getting more and more chainsaw crews, we still have to be careful. The companies have to be careful, and those that they get to assist have to be careful. We can't remove the debris, the trees, off of the power lines until we get the power lines turned off. So that is a choke. That's something that's a little different from ice storms and other things that we've had. We have telephone poles down. In an ice storm, usually don't get that. But so that is the thing that's hindering. But we're working hard to work through that. And with this team, we've got a magnificent team, and you'll hear from some of them right now. We're looking for great success. The Congaree River, we're told, has crested, but there's downstream there are some rivers that have not crested. So we would ask everybody to be on the lookout from their local sources, particularly, as to when and where to expect those floodings. But there's going to be some more flooding. We don't think it'll be anything that we haven't seen before, but we're going to have some pretty good flooding. So be sure to check for your local information on that, and also we'll be providing what we have. Andrew Phillips, Chief of Preparedness, South Carolina Emergency Management Division.
Thank you, Governor. SCMD continues to coordinate with SCDNR flood mitigation program and National Weather Service hydrologists ongoing the river flooding the governor just mentioned. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Got you. Most of the rivers in the western half of the state are still elevated, but they are starting to go down. As the governor mentioned, some of the ones we talked about in the press conference yesterday, the Congaree River in Columbia, that did crest yesterday late morning into the early afternoon hours and has fallen about 10 feet since then. It's still elevated, but it is now in minor flood stage. And then in Kershaw County, the Wateree River, that continues to go down as well, so that is now into moderate flood stage. But as the governor mentioned, we do have some rivers across the eastern portion of the state which continue to rise. So those are the ones we're looking at as the water continues to move downstream. But I do want to emphasize the impacts from this river flooding will be mainly limited to the flood-prone areas along the river. Impacts are not currently expected outside of these areas, even though these rivers continue to rise. So some of those rivers are the PD River is forecast to arrive into moderate flood stage on Wednesday, so tomorrow. Santee River near Jamestown, that's along the Georgetown, Williamsburg, Berkeley County area, is forecast to rise into major flood stage on Thursday or Friday. We continue to coordinate with emergency management officials in that area, and they are closely monitoring the forecast as well along the Santee River. Continue to coordinate with Santee Cooper as well, and they will be conducting public messaging to those that could potentially be impacted by this river flooding. And they issue alerts to communities that are along the river about the potential for this. So that is what we are encouraging. We're urging everyone along these rivers to listen to messages from local officials. Thank you.
Thank you. Director Andrew Bateman, Office of Regulatory Staff.
Thank you, Governor McMaster. Andrew Bateman, South Carolina Office of Regulatory Staff. We continue to work with utilities and our agency partners in an effort to restore power across the state. As Governor McMaster mentioned earlier in the press conference, outages do continue to drop. Briefly, I'll detail where the state lies and where the individual utilities lie currently. As Governor McMaster mentioned, the total for South Carolina as of a few hours ago, so he mentioned it has undoubtedly gone down since then by some degree, was 629,979. The top three counties are Greenville County at 165,137, Spartanburg County at 135,951, and Aiken County at 62,316. Dominion stands currently at about 75,000, Duke at about 395,000, and the cooperatives at about 148,000. Thank you, Mr. Governor.
Thanks, sir. Kim Stinson, South Carolina Emergency Management Division.
Thank you, sir. Kim Stinson, State EMD. The State Emergency Operations Center remains at operating condition 1, which is our highest readiness state. The priorities really haven't changed for us. Continuing maintaining communications, clearing roadways, power restoration, shelter operations, and food and water distribution. We currently have 11 of our personnel deployed to 11 counties in the most impacted areas to assist local authorities in responding to this event. County governments, the operational focus in those particular areas, in those counties, similar to ours, is power restoration, road clearing operations, sheltering, and food and water distribution. Damage assessment is ongoing in many counties, but we do have some updated information. On the residential side, 18 counties are reporting over 1,500 damaged homes, of which 66 are destroyed and 517 with major damage. Public assistance costs, that's the infrastructure damage and emergency protective measures, are being reported by 36 counties for a total of $16 million. And both of those are subject to change here as we move forward. And they went up significantly since yesterday. County governments are closed in 8 counties with 1 county on delay today, and that's trending down, which is a good sign. In the logistics area, we have action 599 requests, of which 241 have been completed and 358 are in progress. The most requests have been for food, water, fuel, and chainsaws. And so far, we have distributed 274,000 meals, 281,000 liters of water, and 3,500 tarps. On the federal side, as the governor just spoke to, is that we've got a major push to rapidly add those counties that he identified on the individual assistance and infrastructure repair and restoration reimbursements. And there may be more added as we move forward, but we're working with FEMA and then also gathering additional information so we have sufficient information to add those counties to the federal declaration. A reminder for everybody to stay informed and up to date using reliable sources. Misinformation is dangerous, and even if it's well-intentioned. So please rely on official channels such as SCEMD and your local emergency management offices for accurate information. And residents here in South Carolina who have questions can call our state's public information phone system, our Hurricane Helene hotline at 1-866-246-0133. Thank you, sir.
Thank you. Brigadier General Robert Stilwell, National Guard.
Thank you, Governor. Ladies and gentlemen, good afternoon. Currently committed to the response, we have 894 Army National Guardsmen. We have 34 Air National Guardsmen and 35 State Guardsmen for a total of 963 service members responding to the event. We're continuing to build capacity. For example, we have a Florida National Guard engineer unit that is coming into our state today to assist our engineering effort in the impacted counties. We stand ready to ask for additional assistance from other states as necessary. Currently, in the impacted areas, we're assisting county authorities with debris removal, with chainsaw teams, and with general purpose troops. We're continuing to assist North Carolina with helicopter rescue missions in the affected areas. Ladies and gentlemen, the South Carolina National Guard is on duty, on station, and stands ready to support our friends, our neighbors, and our families. Thank you very much.
Question, we have
Yes, sir.
2 helicopter rescue units in North Carolina, but we have 2 here. And we have all we need.
Yes,
Is that
sir.
right?
Absolutely, sir. We have retained helicopter aquatic rescue teams in South Carolina that can respond to any of the issues that we have. We can also remission and retask those units that are assisting North Carolina.
Okay.
Yes, sir.
Thank you, General.
Yes, sir.
Secretary Justin Powell, Department of Transportation.
Thank you, Governor. Justin Powell, Secretary of Transportation. SCDOT continues its 24-hour operations in response to Hurricane Helene. We have been working to restore mobility to the western half of South Carolina. We've supplemented our crews in the affected area with 87 additional crews that continue to make progress in removing trees and reopening roads. I got the opportunity this morning to visit operations in Edgefield and McCormick County. Our team spirits are high, and our crews continue to work tirelessly to help get South Carolina moving again. At present, we have 456 routes closed across the state. That is down from 480 yesterday. As the governor mentioned, power line entanglements remain the single biggest obstacle to reopening roadways. We've started coordination efforts with the utility companies that are expediting our shared mission of getting the power back on and the roads reopened. Power crews and DOT crews are now working side by side to get power restored and roads reopened at the same time. As we move trees out of the roadway, you may notice piles of debris and trees on there. As soon as the network is restored, we've gotten out of the power pack on, we'll work to start cleaning up that storm debris. I recognize this storm has brought incredible impacts across South Carolina, and I want you to know that SCDOT is not slowing down and that we are committed to getting South Carolina moving again. Thank you, Governor.
Thanks, sir. Director Robert Woods, Department of Public Safety.
Thank you, Governor. Good afternoon. Robert Woods, Director of South Carolina Department of Public Safety. I'll start with our calls for service. Typically for the Department of Public Safety, our calls for service are vehicle collisions, assist motorists, blocked roadways, especially during a situation like this. On Sunday, we had 569 total calls for service. On Monday, we had 784. Despite that uptick, you'll generally see that type of increase from a Sunday to a Monday from a weekend to a work day. So that's not unusual, and it's still within what we would consider to be our historic averages. So since our calls for service have returned essentially to normal, that allows us to free up personnel to assist SLED with law enforcement high visibility patrols, as well as other specific security missions. With that said, I'll just give you an idea as to the numbers of personnel that we have assigned today and tonight. This afternoon, we have 205 Highway Patrol and State Transport Police troopers and officers who are working. 166 of those are in Aiken and through the upstate, through the impacted area. 33 of those are specifically detailed. Of those 166, 33 of those are specifically detailed to assist SLED with security missions. Tonight, we will have 102 personnel who will be working, and 62 of those will be in the upstate area, and 3 of those personnel will be specifically tasked to SLED. Governor, that's all I have. Thank you.
Thank you. Chief Mark Keel, SLED.
Thank you, Governor. Mark Keel, SLED Chief, ESF 13, SLED, DNR, Triple P, South Carolina Department of Corrections, and DPS Highway Patrol are currently providing 191 agents, officers, and troopers to support local sheriffs and police chiefs with a variety of security-related missions within the 19 counties and 4 cities. Those counties are Aiken, Allendale, Anderson, Bamberg, Barnwell, Cherokee, Edgefield, Greenville, Greenwood, Hampton, Laurens, Lexington, McCormick, Newberry, Oconee, Pickens, Saluda, Union, and Spartanburg, and the cities of Greenwood, North Augusta, Pacolet, and the city of Union. These officers, troopers, agents are conducting roving patrols in those counties at gas stations, businesses, residences, also in those rural areas where there is no power, to make sure that we have an increased law enforcement presence in order to maintain order and public safety. Assisting with security at food drops, distribution locations, points of distribution to assist with law enforcement protective measures as citizens come to get those items at those points of distribution. We're currently also tasked with aviation requests for disaster assessment both in Pickens County and Greenville County. We flew missions there yesterday, and we're in those counties again today, flying to make sure that that disaster assessment flights are completed. In addition, we have law enforcement from other agencies, Myrtle Beach PD, Mount Pleasant PD, Conway PD, and Sumter PD, that are also assisting our state partners. That's all I have at this time, Governor.
Thank you, Chief. Director Emily Farr.
Thank you, sir. Emily Farr with the Department of Labor Licensing and Regulation. Give an update on the state search and rescue efforts and also have a few important safety messages. First, in response to requests from the counties, LLR State Fire Division is continuing to support missions with urban search and rescue teams and fire department resources through firefighter mobilization. As of today, we now have 297 personnel assigned to mission requests. We also have both FEMA urban search and rescue teams that arrived from California that are now here in South Carolina working on missions today as well. I do want to take just a moment to thank all of our local emergency responders, our search and rescue teams, and our firefighters, particularly those also that are providing those highly technical rescue missions in partnership with the National Guard on the helicopter aquatic rescue team missions. All of them are not only responding to their own affected communities, but they are providing and sending resources from across the state to provide additional support to these communities. So to all of them, I want to express that your efforts don't go unnoticed, and we greatly appreciate everything you are doing to support the state's mission. Just a couple safety notes. Two I mentioned yesterday on generator safety notes. We are getting reports from our teams that are out in the field that they are encountering citizens who are running generators in their homes. This is extremely dangerous. Must emphasize that generators should not be run inside your home. You should keep them at least 20 feet from doors, windows, and vent openings. That's 20 feet away from them. And never use them inside your attached garage either. With candle safety, if you decide to use candles, try to check your smoke alarms prior to any candle use. Consider using flashlights or battery-operated flameless candles if you can. But if you are using candles, make sure they're on a flat surface and never left unattended. Finally, just a note on tree trimming safety using chainsaws. I know many of us are out there working to try to remove debris. Of course, it's always better to get the power companies, the National Guard, the professionals that are out there to remove those trees. But if you do decide to do so, I can't emphasize enough how important it is to be careful and to assume that the power lines are energized that might be entangled in those trees. Perform a hazard assessment before you start any kind of work, and try to wear the right personal protective equipment, safety gear, eyeglasses, gloves, other sort of safety equipment like that. More information about those safety tips can be found at osha.gov. There are fact sheets there that can help out with ensuring proper safety. Thank you, Governor.
Thank you, ma'am. Director Mike Leach, Department of Social Services.
Thank you, Governor. Mike Leach, DSS. As of 2 p.m. today, South Carolina currently has 15 shelters open, 9 general population shelters, and 6 medical needs shelters open across the state, supporting 160 general population shelterees and 73 medically need shelterees. We continue to work with the Department of Public Health with the operation of sites, so that's a total of 233 folks that are utilizing the shelter services at this point in time. The mass feeding task force efforts are supplementing points of distribution operations. Their MREs and water have been delivered to the following counties: Aiken, Allendale, Cherokee, Edgefield, Greenville, McCormick, Newberry, Lawrence, Oconee, Pickens, Saluda, and Spartanburg. Currently, the Salvation Army is operating their canteens in areas in Aiken, Edgefield, and Barnwell counties, and Saluda County as well. The Southern Baptist Disaster Relief are currently mobilizing their feeding teams to open kitchens in Cherokee, Spartanburg, and Aiken counties, and they are currently operating a quick response unit providing 1,000 meals a day in Greenwood and Lawrence County. The state also put in a federal request for an additional 15,000 shelf-stable meals and water to be delivered to Aiken County and dispersed regionally after that. And the American Red Cross is working on a fleet of emergency response vehicles to help distribute food to communities with the greatest needs. Governor, that's all I have.
Good question. Are we meeting the needs that are being presented to us?
Yes, sir. The capacity, we have plenty of capacity for folks if they need shelter operations. We're currently seeing folks who may need feeding services, and so they're coming in just for that, may need charging stations, be able to charge their phones, and we need folks who are oxygen dependent. We're able to serve those in those areas.
Okay. Thank you very much. Director Edward Simmer, Department of Public Health.
Thank you, Governor. Good afternoon, everyone. Dr. Ed Simmer, South Carolina Department of Public Health. We're focusing, as before, on our healthcare facilities and also making sure people's medical needs are met. All of our hospitals across the state have had power restored and are fully functional. That's very good news. We continue to see more and more of our other medical facilities like nursing homes and assisted living facilities get their power restored. The ones who are still on generator power do have adequate fuel, they have enough food, and we're checking with them every day to make sure their needs are being met. But right now, all of the patients in our facilities across the state are being well cared for. From a medical needs standpoint, as Director Leach mentioned, we have a number of medical needs shelters open across the upstate. If you have medical equipment that requires electricity and your power is out, we can probably help you. You can come to a medical needs shelter, plug your equipment in, and use it. The number to get to a medical needs shelter is 1-855-472-3432. Again, 1-855-472-3432. They will assess your needs and help you find the right shelter for you. Also, I would note that we have a lot of people who use medical oxygen and have been having trouble getting oxygen. With partnership with FEMA, which we appreciate, we now have over 1,400 oxygen canisters that we have gotten to the upstate. We are distributing those to each of the counties, and if you visit our website at dph.sc.gov, you'll see a list of counties and the contact in each of those counties where you can call to obtain those medical oxygen bottles so your supply does not run out. We also have some oxygen generators that you plug in and it makes oxygen. Again, working with FEMA, and those are available as well. If you have other medical needs, certainly try your provider first, but if your provider is not available, let us know that, and we will certainly try to assist. Finally, just a couple other safety points following up with what Director Farr had to say. Be careful. There's a lot of insects, mosquitoes are coming up. There's a lot of ticks now. Certainly encourage folks to wear long sleeves, wear long pants, tuck your pants into your shoes or boots if you're working outside. Certainly a good insect repellent like DEET, D-E-E-T, can be very effective. Also, if you put permethrin on your clothes, you shouldn't put it on your skin, but if you use permethrin on your clothes, that can be very effective at keeping the ticks and mosquitoes away. With that, Governor, I do have one more thing, I'm sorry. Also, for those who are in the Women, Infant, and Children's Food Program, the Nutritional Supplement Program, we are going to be doing waivers for the educational requirements, so it's basically extending people out 30 days, and we're moving that program to entirely remote operations in those areas for now, so you won't have to go to a health department to get your WIC benefits, and we will keep that going for as long as we need to until everyone has access. With that, Governor, that's all I have. Thank you, sir.
What is permethrin?
Oh, yes, sir. Permethrin. Permethrin, P-E-R-M-E-T-H-R-I-N, sir, is a chemical that you can spray on your clothes, and it is very, very effective at repelling pretty much all kinds of insects, but especially ticks and mosquitoes.
Okay, thank you.
Yes, sir.
Director Myra Reese, Department of Environmental Services.
Thank you, Governor, and good afternoon, everyone. Myra Reese, Department of Environmental Services. The team at Department of Environmental Services continues to support the state's effort 24/7. We wanted to provide an update in 3 areas today, beginning with dam safety. There's no change with reports of significant issues with our state-regulated dams. We're continuing to make progress with those post-storm assessments in areas that received the most significant rainfall. As of today, we have assessed the condition of 149 dams. 61 were conducted by our staff, and then 88 were self-reports by dam owners. And we want to really thank our dam owners for continuing to be very vigilant in providing that assessment report back to us. I do want to say that we have noticed in our assessments that we've noticed some clogged spillways, and we just want to continue to encourage those dam owners to be paying close attention to those types of issues and to avoid any issues because of that. Second is drinking water, and beginning with public drinking water, we continue, there are no issues or concerns with continuity of operations or continued supply of public drinking water consumers. We're working very closely, with our power utilities and with our water utilities, matching those up. And we feel very confident that those systems that are on generator power are receiving the fuel that they need, and that we will continue to work them as permanent power is established. I also want to just not to forget the many citizens in South Carolina that rely on private wells, and just provide this number again if you have any concerns or if we could assist you in any way. Don't hesitate to reach out to our private well hotline at 1-888-761-5989. That's 1-888-761-5989. And then finally, I just wanted to mention debris management strategy. I think, as we continue and the counties continue to get out there and assess the damages, we're probably going to see volumes of debris that maybe we've never anticipated before. And that's why it's so important for us to have a good state strategy as far as debris management. And I just want to publicly thank all of our many partners. You've already heard from some of, like the Guard and so many folks that are helping collect this debris. But then the debris's got to go somewhere once it's collected. And it's going to be very important for us to manage it appropriately. We're working very closely with our county partners who are identifying staging areas that we can bring the collected materials. And then we need to think about where that material is going to go. And we have businesses across the state that are really stepping up, being part of this solution with us. We have some businesses that have boilers that can use chips as fuel in their boilers, and they are stepping up to offer that assistance. We also have businesses that have wood chippers, equipment like that, and also recyclers that produce landscaping mulch. So all of these folks are stepping up and helping our state come up with a very good debris management strategy, and we greatly appreciate that. Thank you.
Thank you. Director Marcia Adams, South Carolina Department of Administration.
Yes, thank you, Governor. Good afternoon, Marcia Adams, Department of Administration. I just want to say thank you to all of the citizens across the state who have volunteered to help and volunteered to make donations. We continue to work with the counties to determine their immediate needs for donated goods and volunteers. And as I've mentioned before, donated goods require transportation and warehousing. So oftentimes the most effective offer to meet those immediate needs are monetary donations. Charitable organizations assisting South Carolina victims can buy the exact items needed for those victims. On the SCEMD website at scemd.org/recovery/volunteer and donate is a list of all of the organizations who are accepting monetary donations of goods or food. For people interested in volunteering, please visit that website also, and it has a link to volunteersc.org to register, managed by the United Way. Many of these volunteer opportunities do require some training, and we want people to be safe during their response and recovery operations. We do ask volunteers not to self-deploy, as unexpectedly showing up will create an additional burden for the first responders. As public officials and disaster relief organizations identify the specific needs, they will be contacted. Again, I just want to say thank you so much for everything that the citizens of the state are doing to help each other. Thank you.
Thank you, ma'am. Chief Ben Duncan, Office of Resilience.
Thank you, Governor. Ben Duncan, Chief Resilience Officer, South Carolina Office of Resilience. We continue to coordinate with EMD with our recovery efforts and our mitigation efforts. We are lending personnel to EMD to help with disaster assessments. In the recovery efforts, we are well prepared with case management. We have case managers who are ready to fill in as soon as the recovery centers are open to assist people with all needs. It could be food, clothing, housing, whatever the need may be. We are there to assist them. We have a long record with recovery and long-term recovery. We've repaired from the previous storms more than 3,454 homes. This is a fantastic recovery effort that we have in place. We have the talent and people ready to move forward with it. Lastly, we would like to let you know that if there are any donations that need to be made, that they could be made through 1SC Fund. They have a history of assisting disaster victims from 2015 flood, Hurricane Matthew of 2016, and Hurricane Florence of 2018. Central Carolina Community Foundation is the parent of the SC1. Their telephone number is 803-254-5601. Again, that's 803-254-5601. And they have assisted more than 2,000 individuals in the previous storms that we've had. Thank you, Governor.
Thank you, Don. Just a couple of things to finish up with. You may want to know these numbers from Dominion, Duke, and the co-ops that are going down with outages. Yesterday, Dominion had 99,677. Today, they're down to 75,734. Duke yesterday was at 468,647. That's 468,647. Today they're down to 395,795. And yesterday the co-ops were at 177,269. And today they're down to 148,918. So you can see they're dropping. Went from 745,593 yesterday to 629,979, and they're still going down right now as we speak. One final note, because of what we're seeing with these tragic deaths with trees falling on houses, falling on vehicles, people getting washed off the road, people trying to get out of the way of something in the road and running off the road. We know we don't want to have any more tragedies. So we just urge everyone to remember a few things. One, where the rivers are going to be flooding, they haven't crested yet. Be prepared for that water. And also, as the water goes up in places, some of the animals that are in those dry places look for dry places to go. So you might encounter some animals. Be careful. Also, the generators in homes or near homes and garages, we seem to always have deaths associated with those. Also, of course, electric shock. Don't go close to any wire. Every wire you see on the ground is fully charged and flowing with electricity, so stay away. Also, candles. We've had candle deaths with fires in homes. So far, I don't think we've had any deaths from bad food or bad water, but as the refrigerators are not working, we hope that people will throw the bad food away. Don't test it. Don't ever drive through ponded water on a road. You may know the road, you may think this only a foot thick, but it may be washed out. It might be a hole there. There's no telling what could happen. And also, again, don't let this be the first time you use a chainsaw. Let the experts use those things because they can hurt you. And also be careful about all the debris that you've heard is going to be on the side of the road for weeks. Once we get it out and get all power started back, then we'll start removing all of that debris. But it's going to be on the side of the road. Some of it may shift, fall in the road. So day or night, be careful for debris that may be in your way. With that, are there any questions?
Governor, the White House announced today that President Biden would be coming through the Carolinas tomorrow. Didn't really offer a whole lot of details about who he will be meeting in South Carolina or where exactly he will go. Do you plan to meet with the president? Can you offer any other information about that visit?
Well, I know they're coming out. They ought to be the ones to announce all of that. I plan on being in the upstate some tomorrow. So I have no announcement to make.
Okay. Would you like to meet the president tomorrow to discuss
I've met
ongoing?
the president many times before.
Well, let me ask it this way. As of today, what has been the ongoing kind of federal assistance for South Carolina?
It's been superb. I finally was able to speak to the president yesterday afternoon after he missed me and I missed him leaving. He left a voicemail, I left a voicemail. So we finally connected yesterday afternoon. He said that whatever we need to let him know, and we're doing that. Also, Secretary Buttigieg called yesterday and said the same thing, and also Deanie Criswell for FEMA has also called. So, and a number of the governors have called. So we're getting assistance, and we're asking for everything we need. And fortunately, we have a great team that's got a lot of experience and a lot of vision, and they're able to make full use of all these assets.
Governor, to follow up, former President Trump was critical of President Biden, saying he's not sending aid to Republican areas. Are those comments helpful from the former president? Should he be weighing in on this?
Those are questions for President Biden and President Trump.
I have a question for Director Stinson. If you could, is there a way to kind of talk about, you mentioned the $16 million figure as far as damage goes and that's going to go higher. Is there a way to provide somewhat of a breakdown of where some of that money is coming from, or exactly what damage you're talking about as far as the $16 million?
Well, it's a variety of areas. It could be emergency protective measures related to the event. Certainly all the food that's been distributed, that sort of thing. There is some infrastructure damage out there on some of the roads and bridges, and so that'll all be included in there. And we've got, the information we have right now is certainly not final by any amount, so.
Do you have a guess of what the total may be in the end?
I'm reluctant to do that, but I'm pretty sure it's going to be higher than the 16 million that we have right now.
Do you have any update on cell tower outages and what might be happening with those? Some people in the upstate were saying they're still experiencing difficulty with connectivity.
Yes, yesterday statewide cell outages across the state was 13%. Today it's 9%. And someone asked about towers yesterday. That represents 650 towers out of a total of 7,500. And the most affected counties are Abbeville, McCormick, and Lawrence, and they're working on that.
On those, is it all the carriers are affected, or is there one carrier that's affected more than others?
I'd have to get you that information. I'm not sure, but I think all carriers have some of outages. But I can get you the information by carrier.
Any indication, is it power related, or is it like telco infrastructure related? And will they be kind of reassessing those sites in the future to see if backup generators fail, that type of thing?
I'm not sure. I know some is power and some is the infrastructure. I'll have to get you that information, and I'm sure after this storm they will be reassessing just to make sure that if there's any lessons learned, they can put those into action.
I have a question about the dam. Are the privately owned dam owners qualified to capable enough to inspect some of the integrity of the dams as certified engineers?
Our dam owners, and certainly the ones that even have some of the smaller dams that are not regulated by the state, many of the things that you look for is, number one, you've got to know if you were to have a breach of that dam, who would be impacted. So those smaller dams, basically, it will just be the dam owner's property, okay? So it's really an investment that he's protecting. And what, if I was a private well owner, a smaller impoundment, I would be protecting that investment, and then I would make sure that when I had rain events, I was, watching the water levels and also clearing that spillway.
Governor, with the dock workers strike now begun for the last 12 plus hours here, is the state anticipating any sort of effects on the supply chain that could concern recovery and resources?
We have not categorized that, but of course there will be some impact. We don't know how long it's going to last. It just started, but there's nothing moving in and out of the port, is my understanding now. So it's at some point that will be certainly be an impact.
Has the state, or did the state do anything to prepare for this? Obviously, knowing the state was coming, and is there any really workaround to ensure that supplies are still able to get here?
It's very difficult to work around a strike of the entire Atlantic and Gulf Coast. But it's been in the news, and people are aware that it was coming. Suppliers, shippers, we've got a lot of logistics that flew from that port, and I'm confident that everyone that is involved in that on either end are aware of it and did whatever they could. But we cannot settle the strike between the carriers and the union.
You all mentioned some of the resources that we've sent to North Carolina. Do you anticipate sending any more resources over to North Carolina in the coming days or weeks?
If we don't need what we have, and they do, then certainly we'll send it. That's our rule, is if we need something, we can't send it away to any place else. So that's why we have 2 of those 4 helicopter aquatic rescue teams. 2 of them have gone there.
So as of this moment, for now, those will be the only 2 things that are in North Carolina
That's
from
right.
South Carolina.
That's right.
Okay.
Now, we have some troops deployed overseas, National Guard.
Governor, have you spoken to any of the larger grocers, the Walmarts, the Publix, even the Piggly Wigglies, to see what's being done to bring additional food to replace some of the stock that some of the stores have lost during the power outages?
I have not discussed that with them, no. But we've discussed a lot of things with a lot of people trying to get the power back on.
As far as the declaration that President Biden signed, I know some of the counties were left out of that. You said some of those counties are still reevaluating whether or not they can be a part of that declaration. When you think about like Richland County, who is in charge of making that assessment? Is that a FEMA?
All of the county officials, of course, they gather whatever information they can and send it in to us, and it will go to FEMA, and an evaluation is made. We've been fortunate over the years in getting these expedited declarations from the government, from the federal government, and I think we have built up some confidence when we send our information in, and so as soon as we have the information from the counties, as soon as we receive it, we send it in as quickly as we can, so they can make that determination.
Some of those counties don't have the employees or the manpower to do those assessments. Does the state step in and help with the assessments?
We try to whatever we can do to help or encourage, we do. But ultimately, that's a county officials. Normally, once they have a chance to assess things, and it takes a little time sometimes, then the process moves pretty quickly. And again, just getting the emergency declaration is a big step.
I know there are some counties that have had gas shortages. Is there any kind of update as far as what that looks like now, whether there have been trucks coming in able to re-up that supply?
Well, we know that the pipeline going through Belton and Spartanburg, we know they're working just fine, and Augusta was out and then was on momentarily, and I think maybe it's back on now. So coming in, we have very few stations that have no gas. The problem is if they don't have electricity, then if they've got a full tank below the ground, they can't pump it up. So that's Andrew, you want to answer that?
Yes, sir. Thank you, Governor. Yes, to follow up a little bit on what the governor was saying, when we talked with our contact at Colonial Pipeline, I don't think there is a shortage of gasoline itself. We did do some digging to figure out which gas stations actually are in operation. I have regions, the Columbia region, GSP, Aiken, Augusta, and the Savannah region, and it has a percentage as to which gas stations are closed. And for each of those 4 regions, at least based on the data we've got right now, the percentages are under 5% for each of those regions. So based on the data we have, there's gas, and most of the gas stations at this point in time are now open.
2 more questions, Bill Loudon.
On the additional deaths that have been confirmed, can you say what those were a result of? Was it generators? Was it trees falling?
Yes,
ma'am. Rob Woods, DPS. Yes, sir, I will. The governor's already covered most of the circumstances. The overwhelming majority of those have been from fallen trees. So that's where we're seeing it. What I can do is give you the list of the counties. What we've done at DPS is work directly with the coroners in each county to verify the deaths themselves. They have the particulars involving each one of those deaths, but what the governor's already outlined is pretty much the sweep of what the cause of death are. But if you'd like me to, I can provide you with that information, and you can go back to the individual counties and get the specifics on those.
I see we have a rep from FEMA here today. Can we have any kind of update, or is there any kind of information as to where they are in their progress and what resources they're bringing to TMS South Carolina?
Good afternoon. I'm Brett Howard. I'm the Federal Coordinating Officer. We are currently in support of South Carolina and the governor's team here, as you've heard from all of them and the local responders that are out doing what it is they do. It is an enormous impact to this state. The great thing and the easy job FEMA's had has been helping and assisting the state. As all of us know, that disasters are all local. They're locally executed, they're state managed, and they're federally supported. and I stand here supporting the state of South Carolina with the full force of the federal government. We have been asked to bring in new SAR teams, and they're here. We've found oxygen for public health and having it brought in. The most important thing was helping to expedite that declaration to get the hard work out of the way, and Director Stinson's team, the governor's team, providing us the stuff we needed to expedite that major declaration helped speed up things. I know there's counties left out, and that's a big thing, but we went with what we had to get assistance to the survivors. We're here to support the state, and we're here for every survivor for this disaster. Currently, I think as of midday today, we've had over 64,000 registrations in the FEMA. So that needs to continue, because some of those issues that with private wells and things, there's assistance from us to help do that. We are currently going to have DSA, Disaster Survivor Assistance teams, out in the neighborhoods helping register. I think DRCs were mentioned. We're working with the state at their discretion of where those need to be set up. And like the governor said, President told him whatever he wants, and I'm here to make sure that we can give him as much as he needs. And I don't think we've missed anything yet, Governor. I think we've answered the call on everything that the state has required, and we stand ready to bring in whatever else it takes. And I look forward to being here through all of this. We're not going anywhere. This isn't a 2-day. This isn't a week-long event like the governor said. This is a marathon. We're going to be here for a while to make sure the state recovers and we get through this response and we get South Carolina and upstate rebuilt. Thank you, Governor. Thank you.
Thank you very much.